There is nothing simple about classroom management, about children's behavior, but there is one simple thing with the Nurtured Heart approach that I use in my classroom and actually in my everyday life. And that simple fact is that humans like to be recognized. Humans like to be acknowledged, no matter how young or old you are. Think about how it feels when somebody notices, recognizes, and appreciates the things that you're doing. Think about when a boss or a colleague or a spouse or even a friend or a stranger acknowledges and recognizes the effort that you're putting in. Think about how good that makes us feel. That same feeling is how we can make children feel, both in our homes and in our classrooms, when we can recognize and show them how great they are. And you know what? It doesn't cost a thing. It does not take us hours and hours of printing and cutting and figuring out who's getting this and who's getting that and tracking and buying prizes. It doesn't cost a thing, but it does take effort. It does take consistency. It does take practice, and it does take some action and responsibility to learn how to recognize other people's greatness. And it does come a little bit easily to some people, more so than others, but it is something that everybody can do. And even though it is something that everybody can do, that we can all try to find places in our lives to use it, it is a little awkward at first, because you at first are trying to make it a part of what you do every day. You are trying to relentlessly recognize the greatness in everybody around you, whether it is in your classroom, whether it is at your home, or perhaps another job that you have. So it is a little awkward at first because we are not used to, most of us at least, pouring out and giving that recognition as often as we do when we're starting to learn Nurtured Heart. And I've mentioned before, this is not a fix-all, solve all of your problems. This is not going to work for every child and every person. Everybody is different. Every child is different. Every group of kids is different. It does work better with certain groups of kids than others. And no matter who the child is, who the person is, who the class is, it's still important to find ways to recognize and appreciate people for the effort that they're putting in, even if it is the smallest of efforts. There is that famous saying that kids will not remember what you teach them, but they will remember how you make them feel. And in Nurtured Heart and in recognizing somebody's greatness, you are building their portfolio. You are building up this idea that they have in their brain, in their mind of themselves. And oftentimes when we are recognizing a child or a person enough and we are saying all of the qualities of greatness that they are exhibiting, they start to change that voice in their head. They start to change that thought in their head of, I'm not a great person. I'm not smart. I'm not a good listener. Because unfortunately, in lots of aspects of our lives, we hear those negative thoughts. We put those negative thoughts on ourselves, children and adults. So Nurtured Heart is something that I suggest everybody dive a little bit more into. I am not an expert. I am not trained. It's just something that I have a passion for and something that I have found works really well in my classroom, but also my everyday life. And go Cubbies, Spirit Day.